My best friend refused to come home from vacation after her daughter attempted suicide, then accused me of kidnapping her for taking her daughter. And when I confronted her, she scoffed and said she did it for attention. That was 6 months ago. This morning, she was crying outside a courtroom she wasn't allowed in. My best friend Claire had always dreamed of being a mother. When Julia was born, Claire was over the moon. Our daughters, Julia and my Emma, grew up together like sisters. Claire asked if I could watch Julia for a week while she took a solo vacation to Bali. It wasn't unusual. Claire liked her breaks, and Julia practically lived at my house anyway. On day 3, I called Julia down for dinner but got no answer. I found her door locked, which never happened. When I opened it, Julia was lying on her bed barely breathing, surrounded by empty pill bottles and a folded note. I called 911 immediately. On the ambulance ride, I called Claire at her resort. Through choking sobs, I told her what happened. Instead of sounding worried, Claire said, "Is it really that serious? Maybe she just wanted attention." At the hospital, the doctor explained Julia needed her stomach pumped. I texted Claire immediately, but her response knocked the wind out of me. Changing flights is $200. It's expensive. Plus, you don't have to go to the hospital every day. That's literally what nurses are for. I took off work and spent 3 straight nights in the hospital chair beside Julia's bed. One night, she asked why her mom wasn't coming back for her. Throughout all this, Claire posted beach selfies captioned, "Living my best life." Claire finally showed up a full day after landing, deeply tanned and relaxed. She gave Julia an awkward half hug, then immediately asked about her luggage. As I explained Julia's recovery plan, Claire snapped, accusing me of parenting her child. "It was probably just for attention," she spat. Julia stood in the hallway, tears streaming down her cheeks. Claire barely glanced at her daughter. I lost it. I told Claire she chose the beach over her dying daughter. She scoffed. "Teens are dramatic. You should have known better." Claire grabbed Julia's bag and demanded she leave, but Julia locked herself in my bathroom, refusing to go. Claire called the police, claiming I was kidnapping her daughter. When officers arrived, I showed them Julia's discharge papers. The female officer talked to Julia privately, then called CPS. After interviewing Julia, the CPS worker suggested Julia stay somewhere she felt safe for 72 hours. As we collected Julia's things, Claire turned on me upstairs. "You think you've won? I'm going to destroy your life. Julia is my daughter, not yours." What Claire didn't know was that Emma was recording from the hallway. Claire started a social media campaign, posting about being a mother fighting to get her daughter back, claiming I was mentally unstable. She twisted everything, saying Julia's hospital stay was an accidental overdose. At the custody hearing, the judge granted me temporary guardianship for 30 days with Claire limited to supervised visitation. Claire missed her first 2 visits, then showed up with expensive gifts, more interested in taking selfies than connecting with Julia. Something unexpected happened during the review. Julia's father, Mark, who Claire claimed had abandoned them, contacted us. Turns out Claire had been lying. Mark had been paying child support, but Claire kept blocking his access. At the final hearing, Mark testified about Claire's lies. The bombshell came when Claire's boyfriend testified that Claire had confessed to using Julia primarily for social media content. Claire lost it in the courtroom, screaming that everyone was lying. The judge extended my guardianship for 6 months and granted Mark visitation rights. But Claire wasn't done. She created fake profiles of Julia online, had her harassed with anonymous texts, and even showed up at our house with a giant man who shoved me down trying to take Julia by force. The police arrested both of them. It took 2 years of legal battles, but I eventually won full custody. Claire got a life sentence for all her crimes stacked together. When Julia finally came home permanently, she hugged me tight and whispered, "I knew you'd come back for us." Now Julia's thriving in college with a 3.8 GPA. She calls me and Rob her family. Last week, she called with exciting news. Her artwork was selected for a prestigious exhibition. "I need you, Rob, Emma, Dad, and Karen there. You're all my family. Sometimes the family you choose is stronger than the one you're born into."